Hey guys, Cecil here once again. I just wanted to make a quick little video this morning to talk about a big announcement in the gaming world yesterday. And as you can probably tell by the title of the video, that's going to be talking about Operation Rainfall and Xenoblade that was just announced for North American release. And to be honest, that's freaking awesome that we're finally going to be getting this game. It's been months and months of pestering Nintendo of America to finally release the game over here. But I want to kind of backtrack a little bit and talk about Operation Rainfall, what prompted this whole, letter writing and campaign and everything, and why it's so important to release or to support this new release of Xenoblade in North America. So let's go back 6 months to E3. Obviously, the big news out of the Nintendo conference was, the Wii U, the touchscreen controller, and all that wonderful stuff. But kind of underlying there with Nintendo fans was these really good JRPGs that have come out for the Wii in Japan in the last roughly 12 months or so. And that's Last Story, Pandora's Tower, and Xenoblade. And we were wondering from Nintendo of America, hey, are you going to finally announce these at E3? And as their conference went on, they did their press conference and no other news came out about it. And even at the end of the conference, there was kind of a Nintendo developers roundtable, and no mention of these games was ever brought up at any point in E3 from Nintendo of America. And that kind of irked a lot of fans because really, if you think about it, in the last 12 months, there really hasn't been very much released for the Wii that's been all that worthwhile outside of maybe Kirby and Skyward Sword. So, that kind of prompted that irritation, prompted Operation Rainfall to form through the IGN forums and other websites and everything. And it's kind of been a letter writing and, Facebook and Twitter bombardment campaign to say, hey, Nintendo of America, listen to us. We're your diehard fans. We want these games in America. Please bring them over. And that started to gain momentum. And then a couple months after E3, Nintendo of Europe announced that they're going to be bringing Xenoblade over to Europe, which is great news for America because in order to release in Europe, they had to translate into English and everything. And that would hopefully, Nintendo of America would bring that version over to us to enjoy here in the States. But Nintendo of America just kind of played it off a little bit, saying we'll keep an eye on it, see how well it does, and all that wonderful stuff. And that really irked a lot of fans because there's really no logical reason for them not to bring this already translated game over to America for us to enjoy. And finally, after a few more months of bombardment and saying, hey, Nintendo, please bring these over, Operation Rainfall finally succeeded in bringing one of these three JRPGs over to the States. Now, why is it so important to support this release of Xenoblade? Well, it's looking like it's going to be a limited release to GameStop and Nintendo's online store, which is fine, but this is going to kind of be the test for us, kind of the bone that they've thrown to us to say, hey, okay, we've relented. We're going to give you this game. Show us you want this game, and then maybe we'll bring these other ones over for you as well. So if Xenoblade doesn't do very well in the States, then there's no reason for them to consider bringing Pandora's Tower or Last Story over at all. Even though they're going to also be released in Europe later in 2012 in English, if Xenoblade does do well enough, though, there's a pretty good chance that in North America, if Xenoblade does well, that there's a pretty good chance that, they'll also bring over in Pandora's Tower and Last Story for us to enjoy as well. Because, looking forward to the Wii release list in 2012, even now that Xenoblade's just been added, I looked at it, there's Mario Party 9 and Rhythm Heaven, and God only knows if either of those two games are going to be worth paying full price for. The reviews for Xenoblade have been really positive on Japanese and European websites. That's definitely going to be worth the full $50 they're asking for it on day one. And I just pre-ordered it on GameStop yesterday as soon as I saw the announcement. And right now, looking at GameStop.com, it's the #1 most anticipated Wii title, which is awesome. But if you're not a big fan of GameStop, and I know there's a lot of people that aren't, Nintendo is going to be offering it through their online store, so you can pre-order it through them. I think it's December 19th or something that those pre-orders will start. But so if you're at all a big fan of the Wii, JRPGs, or anything in general, please go pre-order this game. Please get it. Even if maybe you bought the European release, because there were a lot of Nintendo of America, American gamers that were like, well, screw you, Nintendo of America. If you're not going to bring this game over, we're going to soft mod our Wii's, and they imported the European version. And that's kind of similar. If you remember, 10 years ago with the Dreamcast, a lot of American Dreamcast owners, they imported Shenmue 2 and Headhunter and Rez because Nintendo of America wasn't going to be bringing those, Sega of America wasn't bringing those over for the Dreamcast. So please, again, if you're going to at all be into JRPGs or you want something to help tide you over on your Wii until the Wii U launches, because God only knows, it could be well into 2012 before we ever see the Wii U, maybe November, because that's when the Wii launched, in November's, and that's why I believe GameCube launched in November of 2001. So yeah, November seems like a pretty, solid month, at least for the last two major Nintendo consoles to come out, and it could be months and months, at least a year before we even see anything from Nintendo in regards to the Wii U's, and this will help stem the tide. If Xenoblade does well, we'll also get hopefully Pandora's Tower and Last Story. So let me know what you think. Do you think it's great that this is, you know, finally coming over? Is it like, I'm kind of more like me saying, well, it's about damn time, but really good news regardless? Could you care less? I don't give a crap about the Wii. I only care about the PS3 or the 360, and there's a lot of gamers that are out there like that. But for Nintendo fans, you know, especially, this is really good news, and I'm so glad that it's finally coming, even if it's just kind of like, well, it's about effing time. So I apologize. I'm going to kind of go off a little bit now, and I apologize if my last few videos have been kind of on the rough a little bit. Unfortunately, I've got a really old computer, and my editing software is kind of conking on me a little bit. So I'm kind of just been doing one-take reviews on my phone here. And so the quality at the end especially might not be the best. And also, Mario 3D Land, I finished it. I've got it finished to the point where I can review it comfortably. It's been a really good game. That'll hopefully be out in the next couple of days. I'll finally, you know, finish that review up. And also I've got some classic system-looking ideas here in the next couple of weeks for videos and everything. So yeah, there'll definitely be more content on the way. But I just wanted to kind of touch base and talk about this. And I'll post a link down below to the Facebook page of Operation Rainfall and everything, because there's still work to be done to get Pandora's Tower and Last Story released over here as well. And but yeah, great, Xenoblade's coming. But I'll see you guys next time. You have a good one. Take it easy.